This is a Living a Creative Life video for Opus, where we share life stories of members within our creative life community. In this episode, we're excited to welcome Shantel Miller, a Jamaican-Canadian visual artist whose vibrant, reimagined spaces specifically depict moments in Black life. She'll explain how she uses oil paints to question authority, existence, and contemplate what it means to be human.
I primarily work with oil paints, but I also work in drawing, printmaking, and some photo-based material as well. I started oil painting, I want to say after undergrad. I found acrylic paints to be they dry too quickly for me. And I believe oil painting wanted to teach me a lesson of patience. So I wanted to be a figurative painter and I wanted to be realistic. And so I had to learn to sit with the material and keep revisiting it. Because oil, it's a different relation to time than other water-based mediums. And so yeah, I wanted to paint realistically, and I felt that the more time I spent with oil paint, I was able to achieve a certain likeness that I was striving for in representing the figure. Because I'm working with the Black figure and what it means to represent Black bodies, I'm thinking about a certain devotion and a sense of care to the subject matter. And so it's like sitting with that and responding to it takes time. And so I'm invested in spending time with these things and caring for them. And oil painting in particular, it allows me to be present and to respond. I love using color for their various properties and their ability to bring the viewer or myself into a certain space, whether it be like a psychic space or like a certain emotion. I believe color commands that. And so positioning the body within these conditions using oil paint, it allows me to like enter into that narrative. I end up working in different layers, painting, just building up color. I love playing with colors that way. There's often a push and pull with how I'm like situating space and how I'm positioning the body within space. I'm interested in creating like a sense of interiority within my painted spaces that the viewer can also be present in. Going back to the beginnings when I was teaching myself how to paint the Black figure realistically, I was really captured by being able to represent Black skin and how light interacts with Black skin. And so oil paint allowed me to like explore that because of its translucency and its ability to build up layers and create complex colors and shadows and forms. I wanted to create more dimension with the subject matter, and working with oil paint puts me in that place to investigate like these forms. I believe each brush has its own mark, and when it comes to oil painting, there's a wide range of different marks you can make to articulate an idea or an emotion. When I'm painting, I am definitely interested in creating something that I've never seen before. And I understand that there's different routes to get to where you want to go. So for instance, even if I'm painting a yellow background, it can be a cold yellow or a warm yellow. And so there's different ways that you can achieve that desired outcome, whether it be starting with an orange ground, like an initial orange layer, or like a cold green, and then building up the layers from there to create something that's really specific, and ideally something that I haven't done before to continue this investigation on like what color can do, what color can say, and how is color informing the subject matter. It's taken me a long time to paint the way that I do. Initially, when I started, it would take me years to finish a painting. And that's because I was so anxious and I had to keep getting up to stop what I'm doing and go do something else. And so, yeah, over time, I've been able to be more still and more present with the work and just focus on it. And so, for me, I'm entering into a meditative place there of stillness, and just being present with what's in front of me and responding to it, and discerning what it needs, and being able to step away as well. My intention is that that also translates for the viewer, so that they can just take the time and understand like the different moves that I've been making across the surface and the sense of time that I've spent with the work. I think love, if you like love what you're doing, and it will carry through, and having like a sense of earnestness and passion, and being very patient with yourself, not feeling like, oh, I need to get this done, because that will also translate in the painting. Just being present with what it is and giving the work of art what it needs, what it's asking for, and paying attention to that. There's definitely work that I'm like creating with for a public presentation in mind. And then there's more of those private, intimate, personal releases that I really feel like my soul is beckoning for, and I don't care how it looks, it just needs to come out. And that tends to be like maybe less oil painting and more materials like watercolor or drawing, things that feel more automatic, less tight. I find oil painting to be like a really big commitment. And especially the way that I use oil paints, once I've started, I've committed to this, and also feeling responsible to what it is I'm representing. Whereas, like I said, using watercolor, it feels like it's more personal, and I'm not so concerned with it looking to a certain degree like something I've seen. It's more something I've imagined. If I'm feeling maybe exacerbated by something in life, if I'm feeling worn down, if I'm feeling like I need some self-care, if I'm even on vacation and I don't want to be thinking about sometimes the weight of oil painting, if I want to have fun, if I want to feel liberated, yeah, watercolor takes me there. My parents are from Jamaica, and that the sense of like vibrancy and brightness really comes into some of my color choices and how I think about putting the Black body in conditions that feel like a sense of joy and uplift. So typically I'll paint really bright colors to put the body in those situations. And I also really like using body language symbolically, to think about like gestures of care or intimacy, in relation to the Black body. And my faith played a really important role in me being able to understand like aspects of existence, and um, like also like redeeming the Black figure through painting. When you think about the history of painting and how Black bodies have been represented, there's a huge erasure and misrepresentation of our existences. And so for me, like working with oil paint particularly has been a way to reinscribe some truth in that, and to like continue to be invested in offering like aspects of humanity that we've been deeply deprived of. And so, yeah, I want to be a part of that conversation, the history of oil painting, specifically figurative painting, and to represent like aspects of Blackness that I find are underrepresented, and that I'm longing to see myself. I think it comes back to love. I do. I think that's a really key ingredient in all of the things that are at play here. So it's a love for myself as a Black woman. It's a love for the people that I represent, the story that I represent, and that extends into the material, the sense of slowness, the way that the brushes like touch and kiss each surface, the way that I like to play and experience delight with color, the way I like to chase light within the painted spaces. All of these elements come together to tell a story of what I think is like beautiful. And I think beauty is really powerful because it gives people something to believe in.
We hope you've enjoyed this Living a Creative Life video on Shantel Miller. Here at Opus, we're committed to sharing life stories of members within our Creative Life community. You'll find today's episode and many more inspirational videos in our Living a Creative Life resource library at www.opusartsupplies.com. Thanks for watching.